Hello, Marriott investors. Welcome. My name is Sale, and this is
Val.
welcome to today's episode. So, today we're going to dive into a critical topic. Topic that many doesn't talk about. You never hear it talked about, but we're going to make an attempt today to talk about a difficult problem that we see. As marriage coaches and mentors over the years, we've seen this so much. Why do Christ followers who are married stay silent when they are running into difficulties and situations? Val, you want to attempt to start out on this?
Well, this is a broad topic, and we can go on and on. But I was just thinking too of the era and the time that we're in. The time when my parents and all of them was married. Basically, you were told to what's in the house. Well, it stays in the house, whatever, and a lot be going on in the community or whatever. But very few people express it. So it all depends on the era too. This era here that we're in is more transparent. They are talking out but in this era also it's more of an image projection. And what I feel that what's happening there, which is sad either or, you guys, it's really sad that to me that to have a couple that in misery, I call it, and don't have and feel like they have nowhere to turn. And that's what's happening right now that we are experiencing in the marriage space. People are feeling they are miserable, but we are projecting a totally different image. And you ask why? Is that happening? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, but um, many couples, I think they feel like they're failing and they want to, I guess when we go to church and we're dealing in church community, people portray this if just like everything is okay. And you ask someone how they're doing, and they really don't give you a straight and real answer on really how they're doing. I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm doing great. We doing, and we show up to small groups. We show up on Sundays and always projecting this image. And now we have social media that we project this image that everything is good. And we only put pictures out there where we having a great time and our family great time. Although at home we may not be even talking or we may not be even interacting with each other, but we're portraying this idealistic image. So my thing is, or my challenge on today's episode is for us to step out of that and get into that space where we're raw and for real. And I know that's kind of saying it hard and straight, but I think that's one way we can go. What are your thoughts?
Well, that sounds good, being raw and real. But in that, it have to be a cultivating atmosphere. It have to be an atmosphere when we are coming to church or wherever we're going, it have to be a safe place. And I think if a safe place meaning that you are not, when you do share, because, you go to church, you always seeing, we really don't even know each other nowadays because it's so huge of, it's just different. But in some places it might not. But usually if you in a big space and someone asks you, as you just said, I'm blessed and highly favored. Yes, you are positionally, but your stuff at home is not in order. And what has happened, we are so used to projecting and saying certain things, I will say Christianese, till really we're not being real with each other. But it have to be a space, and you have to find for someone that I know for as myself. I'm not gonna just go and tell people everything going on in my own. I'm just not, and we shouldn't, because you
No.
have to have wisdom.
Right.
But it needs to be somewhere where people feel that there is a safe place, because everybody cannot necessarily afford a counsel. Everybody might not be able to afford. We're in a day and time now where all I hear people saying is go to a counselor, go to a counselor. But yes, that is a tool that can be used, but you have to be able to afford a counselor as well. But there's other spaces, and that's what I'm believing that for our group that we are doing, we have been commissioned, I will say,
Right.
to help combat that, okay? Because we are in this space of marriage couples, and we are seeing it over and over, the same type of rhythm, whereas they don't want the church to know because they're serving at the church or something else but we do have to come to a place. It first have to be, I will say, we have to have, and I pray that you will find someone that can, a safe place. And sometimes we think it's a safe place, and it's not, because you'll share stuff with people, and they might tell you the answer that you've been wanting to hear.
Right.
So,
And so we really talking about the reasons, specific reasons why people stay silent. First of all, we said that they stay silent because of an image. Okay. And now you're saying they stay silent because of lack of a safe place.
like,
And
yeah,
I think the third thing we can talk about is you kind of heading into it, the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment. Couples in the Christian community might worry about being judged as being imperfect, or if they disclose their marital problem. People, they'll feel like they're being judged, and that's not a good feeling at all. They don't want to feel like, I'm being looked down on. I'm being judged
or shame.
or shamed. And then, we've been in this space for a while, and we've seen where churches do offer and we do a lot of classes, marriage classes. And anytime we talk to couples and tell them we're a marriage coach, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. But that's not the thing. You might be fine, and we always think about the marriage space. When somebody asks us about it, we think they're asking us about help, or they have a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
That it automatically jumps to, oh, I don't have a problem, or we're good in our marriage, or whatever. But in a minute, we're just going to flip the switch, and we're going to tell you about some things that we can do today. But wouldn't you say that, Valerie, as far as that? What do you got to say about this thing of fear of judgment?
Yeah. I was guilty,
Yeah.
myself. I was guilty. I can be one that probably might not have had the right view myself. And God have just shown me that the purpose of the church and the purpose of us as believers is to be edifying. And I think it's in Galatians 6:1, where it says, ye which are spiritual are mature, if you find yourself in a fault overtaken, you are to exhort one another, to encourage one another, and bring someone back into the fold, in other words. And I think we have lost that kind of focus. But myself, going back to it, once I realized the purpose that I'm called on earth as believers, it says, ye which are spiritual, mean mature, and not just anybody. So God, I really believe when your heart is right and you really want help, God is faithful. He himself first can comfort us, but he will also provide other people. So that fear of judgment mainly is that when you are free, but there's still areas in your life or whatever, especially in the relationship realm,
Right.
you need someone. But that judgment just have to be dispelled of that fear. And that fear is something that the enemy used. And God has not given us that spirit of fear, according to Timothy, but a spirit of power and love and a sound mind. But when you find yourself not, we as the church have, and believers in the church or in wherever we are, that's really committed to seeing each other grow, you have to be there for other people. But we have to dispel that type of image because all of us has felt, as I said, I have myself have fell short of that image, the image of projection. We give people, when someone come to us, many times we give people a fast scripture because we don't want to get in there with them. We really give them, God got you, this is, and which is true. But there's sometimes we need to get in there with someone. I think it's in 1 Thessalonians 5 said, bear the infirmities of the weak, and the feeble-minded. So in other words, it's like the heart of God is always to help and to encourage and to restore. But the key is we have to get back into a place of purpose for the church. Church meaning believers as a universal. If not, you're going to continue having people miserable and enjoying just the image that's projected, but miserable at home.
Oh, great. So, you know what? The thing is, and the message we want to give today, we've talked about all the three of the problems. We want to say, despite these three barriers, okay, fear of judgment, image, for idealistic image, and not feeling like there's a safe place. But despite all these barriers, we want you to know that it's critical that you seek support and guidance when you're facing marital difficulty.
And that's so true. 'Cause we were just discussing it. You go to the doctor, if you are feeling, most of us do, and some may not, but when something is hurting or you cut a finger or cut something or something is broken, whatever, you are feeling that pain. You're going to go to the doctor and see what is going on. And I don't know what it is that we think when it comes to relationships and emotions and all, that we just don't get help. Or, you know what I mean? So you still don't wait too late. Maybe I'm getting ahead of you, what you're going to share. But we got to nip it in the bud right away. Because once you nip in the bud right away, you will dispel maybe the hardships down the road. So if you sense that your marriage, just ain't quite there, drifting just a little connection, jump in there, give them a class, find a way, and God will show you. His desire is for us to be oneness. His desire is for us to flow in a unity and for us to flow in a caring and to be restored. That's God's desire for us.
But you know what? In most cases, men feel like they can fix the issues. We say, we can figure it out. We can work it out. And in most times, I'm seeing a trend more men stepping out. And they're asking, well, I might want some coaching. I might need some help. And that's what we do, is doing coaching. But I'm seeing, it's always been, women have always been, the sensitive one who kind of kept their, knew kind of what was going on in the relationship, and that kept it thermometer, especially on the emotional end and on a lot of things that's going on in the relationship. And they all ask for help before a man would. Mm-hmm. But we as men, we always felt like, in most cases, I'm just saying in most cases, not everyone, feel like, hey, I can do something about it. But my take home here today is to seek to seek out help. And that's why we established Marriage Investors, and we're doing different things. So you can seek out, of course, you talked about it earlier, professional counseling. And most people wait until they almost are about ready to get a divorce. I don't like to say that word, Valerie, but they like to say they're pretty much giving up, and then they'll reach out for professional help. But it's so many signs and so many things you can do before you even get to that point. If you see, your desire is your relationship to be in a good place. I think, and that's why I think a lot of times we don't have a good vision of what we want our marriage to look like. And that's why we do what we do as far as getting words and getting messages out there about this topic. But you can always, like I said, professional counselor, a trusted church leader, a supported friend, can provide the tools and the resources needed can help you navigate and strengthen your marriage. And that's why we created Marriage Investors. We're marriage coaches to help you navigate challenges and things to strengthen your marriage. We want to provide tools and the necessary things. And that's why we're in so many we're getting out in so many platforms. We're on Facebook. Please go and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We just went out there on TikTok, but we do have on my website, marriageinvestors.net, where we just formed a community. It's called the Marriage Investor Hub. And this is going to be a place to where couples like you and myself can gather, get information, help grow keep a temperature on our relationship, and grow in this area of our marriage. And one of our whole objectives that we've said from the start here is to stay connected. And that's one reason why we did together write the book Forever Together, Unveiling the Keys to a Lasting Marriage Connection, is for couples to stay connected. Because it's hard. But everything's going on. Everything happens in the camp. Over our life, it's challenging. Now, you don't like to say that word. I know. But it's challenging over a lifetime in all of the different seasons to stay connected. And that's what we're encouraging you today to do, is to stay connected in your relationship, stay strong in your relationship with God, and He will truly help you in every situation, all these problems that we talked about today.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. And, He tells us in Proverbs 3, He tells us to commit our ways unto Him, and He would direct our path. And so we just have to get back to of realizing, and this is going to be another podcast, of that God's principles and ways is for everything in life, and especially in the space of marriage. So once you get that and start saying, Lord, I commit my marriage. I'm feared. I'm scared. Give me someone. Direct me, whether it's Marriage Investors or whatever. He is faithful. And to confirm that that's the person that can help you in this space that you're in right now. And I know as we're talking, it's some people out there as well that needs help, that's feeling that misery, and they don't know how to navigate it. So, we welcome you to become one of our community or reach out, and we're in agreement with you that you will find a safe place, and you will find a way that you can put your marriage on a healthier realm, a healthier path.
Thanks, Valerie. You really wrapped it up for us today. And we just want to say, until next time, I need you to help me out and share this video with someone. Tell couples about this couple that's out here, Marriage Investors, that share with couples about how to strengthen and stay connected in their marriage. So until next time, stay connected and love one another. We'll see you soon.
God bless you abundantly.